Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another lunch break. It's Thursday afternoon, 11 a.m. here in California, and I'm going to be joined by another special guest today. I'm going to be joined by Yes Theory, a group of three gentlemen who they're doing some awesome things on the internet, on YouTube. You guys are probably really familiar. And I am going to call them on here and we're going to say hi. But before I do that, I just want to say hello to you, see where you're at in the world. Let me know, drop a comment of either the emoji of your country's flag. Let's do a little test of how many of those I can guess. And actually, I bet Yes Theory would be great at that game as well, so we'll do that in a second. But I'd love to call them on here. I see people from Brazil. Very cool. Welcome. Always the first people to get on for some reason is from South America. And then everyone else rushes in. Let me see if I can get Yes Theory on. Here we go. And what I'm going to do, I see people from Germany. Very cool. I've got people from, oh, nice. Malaysia. Maybe that's Sophian. Tuning in, awesome. I will admit, there are a lot of flags I am not familiar with that I'm seeing here, and that's great. I was homeschooled and I had a great education. I think my mom, especially for that, and my dad as well. But one of the things I didn't do well on because I just didn't pay attention to in the homeschooling lessons was geography. For some reason, it never stuck with me, so I need to go back now. And that's so I always say thanks, Mom, for the homeschooling education. Look where it got me. But at this point, I need to go back and do geography and little chunks of history that I seem to have missed. So let me have Yes Theory join here. I'm gonna have them see. I'm gonna wait for them to join the live, and then we'll request them. But in the meantime, I'd love to know what you guys have been doing during this self-isolation period or the distancing. I'm at home in my office. And it's been great for me because I've been developing a lot of different projects and writing, and it's kind of much needed time. But I know and that happened to fit my season where I'm at right now. But it's also something where I know a lot of you are in this weird time. You don't know what you'd be spending your time on. Some of you, maybe even you were in college. This is the email I get a lot right now. You're in college. And all of a sudden, you're not able to, you're not in classes, and they're kind of teaching, but not really. And you're figuring out what should you be doing with this time. And I think Yes Theory will have some awesome answers for that too, because they have a really cool brand and what they stand for. Let me add them here. And we will say hello. Let me add them here. What's up, Amar?
Hello, Zach.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh,
Good, how are you?
This is going to be hard for all of you to squeeze in the frame, but I'm so glad to have you.
Man,
Same here, man.
So
we've been in LA for 5 years. We met Josh, your brother-in-law, maybe a year in, and we've been meaning to just like connect like this for a very long time.
So it's a funny story because my brother-in-law Josh, I want to say it was 2015 or maybe it was 16. We had just moved into a new studio, and he was like, "Hey, I know a group of guys, and you guys were just starting. Was it Project 30 that you were working on?"
It was Generation Why Not at the time, and Project 30, yeah.
And so I think I heard about it at that point, and we don't usually open up collabs until like they've proven them. Like we want people, because everyone requests, and you guys get it now all the time. Like, hey, can I do this thing with you? And we're like, yeah, but like benchmark, like get your channel at 50,000 followers or 100 to show you're serious. Yeah. But you guys, I remember hearing your names. And then you just shot up like within a year and a half. It was insane. So it's been fun my team and I are closely following your guys' journey. We love what you do. And
we got your Nerf gun Battle War invitation when we were in Europe. So that was like,
I know we still at some point we got to do that when this is all calm and everyone's not getting sick anymore.
Exactly.
I know my audience obviously is really familiar with you. A lot of them probably even subscribe to you and they know your brand. But for my mom, who I know is tuning in, just give like a quick summary of what you guys are doing and what you stand for and what Seek Discomfort is all about.
Amazing, yeah. Well, we're Yes Theory. It's myself. I'm Amar from Egypt.
I'm Thomas. I'm French and Swedish.
And then we have a third partner, Matt, who is French American. And about 5 years ago, we met very serendipitously over a summer in Montreal, Canada. And we all bonded over the shared desire to just do something different with our 20s and not necessarily just graduate college and do what we were expected to do. So the friendship started with an experiment where Matt Thomas and I, and Darren, who was our fourth partner at the time, we got together and we decided to do 30 things we've never done before in 30 days and make a video about it every single day to document the journey.
Right.
And as I said, it was all an experiment. There wasn't necessarily, we didn't know what we were going after, but it was merely just the connecting every day between the team and being able to produce an adventure that we can reflect on through a video. So we did that for a month, and then it was just the best month of our lives. We came out of it feeling like we've known each other for our whole lives, even though we had just met a few days before Project 30 started. So it was this instant just realization that, you know, we had something in our hands that we could really expand on. And it was the idea that the best things in life and the deepest connections happen when you step outside of your comfort zone.
Right.
And that was exactly what we experienced. So it was almost like us trying the yes theory, and at the time we didn't know it was yes theory yet because it was just Project 30, but the commonality between all the adventures was that we said yes every single day when we weren't really supposed to say yes, or when there was so many other things that we should be doing. So like from there, we just decided to, I didn't go back to school, Thomas quit his startup, Matt quit his startup, and we just put all our resources together, moved into a 1-bedroom apartment, and then just started making videos on a weekly basis. And at the time we were just, I mean, very limited resources, but at around 8,000 subscribers or 7,000 subscribers, we got an email from Snapchat saying, we really like what you guys are doing and we like the ethos of like what you stand for. And we're about to start a channel that targets millennial men. Would you guys like to move to Venice Beach, live in a house together, have like a set up life here and make content for Snapchat? So, I mean, at the time we thought it was a prank. We're 5 years later, we're in Venice and we're talking to someone who, you know, inspired us a lot. Like I remember Thomas telling me that he used to watch your Final Cut Pro.
Oh, the tutorial days. That's old school.
Yeah,
That's
I
far
know.
back. The Final Cut King days. Yeah.
I know, those are really far back. But yeah, when I was starting to learn how to edit, I was just looking it up on YouTube, and you were the top search. So it was wild seeing you go from doing tutorials to doing what you're doing now, which is
And I mean, that's what you guys have found. Like YouTube, it takes you on just an unexpected journey. And I love, talk a little bit about how, so when you guys you said 8,000 subscribers, when you were on YouTube, when did you make that jump to, hey guys, we're making this a full-time thing? And was that was around that
it was kind of
base?
like, from the beginning, it was just like, let's do 30 days together and see what happens. And then after that, it was kind of like a question, like, could we actually make this something serious? Because none of us had ever really met anyone or known anyone who had, you know, actually become successful on YouTube. So it was kind of like, is this even possible? Like, people were telling us at the time, like, every YouTube channel has been done. There's no point in even trying. And so we were kind of like, okay, well, maybe we should try. And so after Project 30 kind of started, and we were like inching our way into committing full time. It wasn't like a day when we're like, okay, let's try this 100%. It was kind of like progressively leaning into it. And then when we moved out here and Snapchat kind of reached out to us, we were able to quit all our jobs because financially they were like gonna support us, obviously. So that was the moment where we had the potential to make it real because we can now actually make money from this, which was such a strange thing. Like we had started just like 8 months earlier, and now all of a sudden like people are like, this is like our job now. It was really bizarre. And even for our parents, they were super confused by like what was going on. But it worked, and then they got us visas to move here to the US, which is actually really difficult to get.
You guys are from Canada, right? Montreal.
So we met in Canada, but he's from Egypt and I'm from France.
Okay.
And Matt is American, so he didn't need a visa, but Amar and I needed visas to be able to work here.
Yep.
So they supported us with that, and that's when it became real, because there's the financial and the visa stuff. You can't make that up. Like, you need someone to help you do it, or you need to just have already a huge audience. And so from that point on, it just became like our full-time.
And I think more than anything, the opportunity with Snapchat just allowed us to fully focus on the creative. What is it that fully represented how we envisioned Yes Theory and what we, you know, imagined ourselves putting out there in terms of content, and we were able to do exactly that without worrying about everything else artists and creators worry about as their start. We still had our rough period in Montreal when we were, eating pasta every day, but being able to move here and just fully get engaged with the different creative ideas that we built Yes Theory through was definitely like a turning point for us. And it also allowed us to really, it wasn't Yes Theory when we moved to LA, it was still Generation Why Not. And it was, the name was born out of this, like us being in the Generation Y, the millennials, all confused, kind of like wanting to figure out what to do. But when we got here, we did more soul searching when we first arrived, and we really connected with what is the core foundation of what made this friendship happen and what made us come together to build Yes Theory. And it was saying yes, and it was saying yes to seeking discomfort. So
yeah,
this is where Seek
that's
Discomfort
awesome.
was born, which is our lifestyle, our tagline, and also our clothing line. So yeah, from that point onwards, like we had this, we started, making more YouTube videos and able to put Seek Discomfort out for, people to be able to express the message through fashion.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys would attribute your success, or your even rapid success to this, but what I've noticed is you kind of did what a lot of people will do over the course of a couple years. And even like you mentioned, the 30 days, like you guys really every day were making content and challenge, you push yourself at a faster rate. And I think it was that level of iteration. Would you guys attribute your speed of success because you really condensed it and it was
Probably.
so saturated?
I mean, what's interesting is like I feel like a part of us felt like we had something to prove to ourselves and to people around us. It was kind of like, if we're going to take such a bold move, let's go 100% in on this. Like, we're not going to sit around and, try and have our weekends or whatever. It was like, we're doing this all the time, and we're going to do as much of this as we possibly can. And definitely the fast iteration, because when you're starting off making videos, like your first few like are obviously not going to be that good. And so you need to move past that, like, beginning phases of learning how to edit, learning how to film, learning how to be on camera. And you just got to get comfortable doing all those things quickly. And yeah, I mean, if you make a video once a month, like it would take you like several years, to get to what we did in 1 month. So it's just like, it's important to have that fast iteration in the beginning. And
it also really helps with, I feel like usually a problem that artists and creators run into is this gap between your taste and your ability to execute what you want to make.
Yeah.
And I think for us, we're very self-critical. We're kind of perfectionists. So when you do something at this aggressive pace to start, it doesn't give you the chance to be like, well, I don't even like this. It's like, I know that I can do so much better, but right now, the edit, and Thomas was the one editing at the beginning. Really going for that pace allowed us to just like wrap a project, ship it, and then look for the next one, rather than continue going back to continue reopening a project and not necessarily get forward with being able to make the rest. So I feel a big part of it is committing to that pace and being able to, in 24-hour turnaround, just do the project from A to Z, and then wake up the next day to do the same thing. So yeah, it was being able to put like a new version for an app every single day and learn from users so that
which is so fast.
Yeah. And I think that's why, like, towards the end, we understood more what we were doing through the journey of seeing what people, like how people related to these videos, why they watched it in the first place. So it's,
we asked our audience, we had a section yesterday on stories to get questions from them, and we got thousands of questions. And one reoccurring question, I'll phrase it from this one gal, Mianka asked, how do you pick your topics? Is it based on uniqueness or how challenging it is? Or is it a mix? Like, how are you guys filtering these challenges that you do?
It's actually, we're actually trying to figure that out, because it's actually it is a mix, which makes it kind of challenging sometimes to figure out exactly what we want to do next. Because each of us have very different types of, discomfort that we almost like need to seek for growth. And each of us have different kinds of adventures that we prefer doing over others. And so it's very much different every time. Some are, personal kind of like objectives, something that is very meaningful to the person, and accomplishing this and having the support of the others doing it is going to enable like a new area of growth. And then others are just simple fun. Like, let's just do something that, you know, might get us out of our comfort zone or travel somewhere really crazy. And just let's see where that takes us. Let's not overthink. Let's not overplan. Let's just let the adventure take us where it's going to take us. And others are just kind of like, we have weekly brainstorms where we go through like different ideas, and each of us bring a few ideas, and then from there we kind of let the team like vote and try to figure out what are the most exciting ideas that we have coming up. And so it's kind of like a mix between an organic and a structured process of just trying to figure out like what do we want to do next. And it's challenging when you're a team, because when you're alone, it's challenging for different reasons, but you can kind of just follow your own gut or intuition and go with it. But when you're a team, you have to kind of like get on the same page and get to a place